welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to Vix. As you can see from the title of the video, today is a bit of a story time, and I've been wanting to do this video for a bit now, but just not really knowing exactly what I wanted the video to do. But I think for me it's just really trying to tell you guys about like a very difficult time in my life where I had to make a very important and big decision. And some people maybe at the end of this video will think, oh, I would have never made that choice. And some people may say, yes, that was a good choice to decide. But for me, I think when I look back now, a year and a half-ish later, I'm happy with the decision. But anyway, maybe let's start at the beginning. So towards, I think, maybe the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, I was being approached quite frequently by like international recruiters to work in different parts of the world. So London, I think there was one person that approached me to work in the US, but different parts of the world, right? And I think when it first started out, I was like, do I even want to? Is this something that I'm interested in? And I mean, you know, you kind of like, when someone approaches you and says, we love your CV on LinkedIn, we'd like to interview you. At first you think, yes, I'm the girl. But then obviously you think about like the fact that it's such a massive decision. And I think at first when it happened, I kept saying, no, I'm not interested. And then at some point, I think I had a chat with my husband and said, you know, these people keep approaching me. And he was like, no, you need to take the opportunity and see where this goes, right? You never know. And so like towards the end of 2021, I was like, okay, cool, Tidi, let's look into this thing, you know? Then a recruiter approached me and I was like, okay, cool, I'm happy, let's start the process. We start the process. And I remember when we had the conversation with my husband was like, baby, if you go, I'm going with you, you know, we're going together. And we were not really sure about what that looked like. We were not sure what going together even meant. Because obviously I would have gone knowing that I had a job, and then he would have come kind of as my support, but not necessarily having secured a job or knowing how that would have worked. So he was just coming with me as a support structure, right? And then I was like, okay, cool, go with the process starts, we do interviews. When we do interviews, it kind of goes quiet. So interview was like Jan, then it goes quiet for like February, March, April, like dead quiet, you know, like no feedback from the recruiter saying, okay, you got in or you didn't get in. It was just quiet. So I was like, okay, clearly this didn't work. But I mean, in the process of having done this, I had always kind of, after we got married in 2020, I was like, I want to start a family, I want to have kids. And when I thought about what going to a different country would mean, it felt like I had to choose between the two, you know. So by the time it was 2022, Jan, Feb, yes, I was interested in the idea of going overseas, but I wanted to start a family. That was like a very big priority for me and my life at that moment. But I felt as if I had to take on the opportunity, because it's not like the family thing had already started, you know. It wasn't like I was pregnant or anything like that. But doing the interviews and wanting to start a family, it felt like I didn't really know how the two kind of came together. Because in my mind, I didn't think they did. Because you can't ship yourself to a different country and then decide 2 months later, oh, I'm pregnant, new people. It's just weird, you know. So it felt like I needed to choose between the two things. And at that moment in my life, I knew what I wanted more. Like I knew that going to a different country and experiencing a different jurisdiction would do wonders for my career. But whether I wanted that at that moment, I wasn't sure. Actually, I knew that I wanted the family more than I wanted the move, right? Like obviously I don't get any word from the recruiters, and then I kind of just like, let me go back to my plans of starting a family, because these people are quiet, right? And jiggy jiggy, literally May. I remember going to see my doctor, my gynae. That's a different story, guys. I'm gonna go into our journey of conceiving. I'll go into that in a different video. But I went to see my gynae, just a quick thing. I went to see my gynae in like April, and I was like, oh, I want to get pregnant. How do we do this? And my gynae was like, here's how we do it, right? And then, okay, fine. April left, still quiet from the recruiters. May came, and like literally mid-May, maybe like beginning mid-May, I get a call from my recruiter to say, CD, you won't believe what just happened. I got a call from this firm. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to mention the firm, so I won't mention it. Then she says, I got a call from this firm, and they're saying that they want to hire you. And I'm like, okay, like, this is great, but like, I've kind of moved on from this thing, and because I'm like, you guys were quiet for like 2-3 months, so I figured it didn't work. Now she comes back with great news, and like what must happen now? And I'm like, okay, great. She's like, are you still keen? I'm like, yes, I'm still keen. And I remember going back to my husband that day. I'm like, baby, you won't believe what happened. These people want to hire me. My husband is like, let's go to London. Let's go to London. But what's interesting in this whole story, guys, is that while the firm was quiet, not coming back to me, my husband was also pushing his own career moves, right? He was trying to get into another hospital and wanting to specifically get into the ophthalmology department, right? So that he can specialize in ophthalmology. So literally, I remember when I got the news that these people wanted to sign me, we were waiting for my husband to get feedback from an interview that he had done with the hospital, right? And now it's like, okay, if he now gets his dream job, and now I've gotten my kind of dream job, like, is the option of moving with him still an option? And obviously not. I don't think, at the time I was like, it would be selfish for me to say, okay, I'm leaving and I expect you to leave with me and for you to leave your career behind, right? And so I was like, okay, what do we do? Okay, then guys, I said to people, no, let's start the onboarding process. I start the onboarding process. I do everything, guys. I do everything. I submit my documents. Like, the process of onboarding was very difficult. It was a very long process. Okay, cool. Then I do the onboarding process sharp. Then literally the following week, not my husband getting a call on the Monday. I remember this day so well. On the Monday, he gets a call to say he got the job. Hey, guys, hey. And you can't not be happy because, like, this is what we've been praying for. He got the job, I got the job, but the jobs are literally thousands of kilometers apart, right? So now we decide, what do we do? My husband is like, baby, go for a year, go for 2 years. I'll stay behind. Just go, fulfill your career, do it. And I'm thinking, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I want to move thousands of kilometers away from my family. I knew that I wanted the job. I knew that it was important for me, for my growth, for my career growth. But I didn't think it was as important as leaving my family behind. And I know a lot of people would not get that. And it's okay. Like, it's okay. Maybe some people do, maybe some people don't. And people will think, she chose indoor. No, even if I did, it's fine. Actually, it's fine even if I did. But it was choosing my family. It was choosing the man that I married, was choosing to grow with him, and was choosing to start a family because that was more important for me. And so my husband got the job, and I remember when he got the job, and I was still doing the onboarding process, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if this is the right decision. I want to have a baby. I want to start a family. This is important for me. And I don't know if going across the world is going to fulfill that happiness for me. If I will even be happy going across the world, And then I just decided, actually, I'm not going to go. I remember calling my friend and telling my friend, I just felt so much confusion about the decision. and felt like as if I had been praying about it, and I felt like God was not hearing me. God was not giving me the answer that I needed. And the answer that I needed from God was to say, do this, don't do that. And I just felt confused every single time after I prayed. And my friend said, I will never forget these words. I will never ever forget these words. She said to me, Tidi, dintho tsa Modimo ha di tlika confusion. As in, the things of God will not come with confusion. So if you are confused about taking the job, it's not yours. That's really what I got from when she said that. And when she said that, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to write an email. I'm going to tell them, can't do it, not coming. Thank you for the opportunity. Maybe one day, but not now. And I wrote the email, and Shay, my recruiter, was so disappointed. Oh yeah, she was really disappointed. And but I felt peace. I felt at peace after I'm making the decision. And I remember I made the decision the following day after we received my husband's call. And I told her, and I was like, you know what, I'm not ready. It's just not a good time in my life. Maybe one day. I don't know when. I don't know how God will organize this. But God knows I want an international opportunity. And that the day that it comes, it will be the right time. But right now, I'm choosing to trust God with this decision. And I moved on. And I said, it's fine. I said no. And I remember I even had a chat to my boss. And I said to him, this is what's happening. I got an offer, I'm thinking about it, what do you think? And he said to me, go. He said to me, I encourage you to go. He told me about his story, about how he went overseas and worked for I think 2-3 years, and he left with his family, and he said to me, just go. And even after that, I just knew it wasn't the right time. And I trusted God with the decision, even though I just felt like I wasn't really hearing from God in the way that I wanted to or the way that I needed to. But anyway, I trusted him. I was like, you know what, God, is fine. I'm going to trust you with this decision. Wednesday came, Thursday came. And I remember I said to you guys, I went to the doctor in April. And that was like the week where I was expecting my period, right? The same week where I denied the job offer. And the Thursday came and my period was late by like 2-3 days. And when my period was late, I was like, should I test? Is it too early to test? What should I do? Then I was like, you know what, let me test. Tested. I remember going to the bathroom at 11 o'clock in the morning in my gown, because we were still working from home that time. And I remember saying, okay, let me just test quickly. But testing, not thinking that it's even going to be positive. I don't know what was the reason for me on that particular day to test, And I remember I put the stick, I peed in the stick, and I was like, let's wait for this test. And lo and behold, it came out to be positive. I think at that moment, it was like it was like a validation of trusting God. Because I felt as though I was rejecting the offer, but I had no guarantee that what I wanted from God was there. So I had to trust that God was going to do it for me, and God was going to, the family that I always wanted, the family that I wanted to start was going to happen, even if I didn't have any validation that it was about to happen. And so when I saw that test, it was like oh my God, this is the reason why I've been feeling so much confusion, And it made sense. Everything just made sense. Everything made sense on the Thursday morning when the test came out positive. And I think at that moment I was like, you know what, I don't regret it. And even after having said I'm not taking the job offer, I didn't regret it. But even when I think about it today, I do think about, oh my God, what could have been, how different my life would have been if I actually was not pregnant and I actually would have gone to London. I think about it a lot, but I think one thing that makes me believe that in God's timing, it will come to pass. It really, really will come to pass. That I will get the international experience. Don't know how yet, don't know when yet. And even if it happens next year or 5 years from now or whenever, I'll know that at that point that it happens, it would have been God's timing at that moment. And so yeah, that's how I rejected what I would call for a lot of people a dream job, to move across the world and have a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to learn and to grow your career. But whether I regret it, absolutely not. My life right now is as I had prayed for and as I had imagined, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, that's my story. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope that you find some sort of benefit and value in it, and that if you are in a process of making a very difficult decision, really my word for you is to say trust God. Even if you're living in so much confusion, trust God that God's decisions will not come with confusion. But that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being with us even through our consistency and our inconsistent days. But yeah, and as usual, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please do all the things. And with that, it's a wrap.